running your bits slower is more likely to break them than running them faster. And that's just one of the 3 mistakes that are costing CNCers $30 a pop. In this video, I'm going to break down all 3 and show you how to stop it. Mistake number 1 is work holding breaking loose during the cut. While your CNC is cutting, your work holding shifts or something changes, and that causes your material to shift, bit to dive into the material and break. For me, this has been the #1 way I have broken bits over the last 8 years of running different CNCs is work holding breaking loose. I knew this was a huge learning curve when I went from my Shapeoko to my Avid CNC. My work holding techniques for the Shapeoko did not work on the Avid just because of the greater force, feeds, speeds, and I broke a lot of bits when I made that transition. This is why today my favorite work holding is screws. These are just wood screws. I have them in all different sizes, different lengths. My piece does not move. When it is screwed down, I can walk away from it and know that that piece is not going to move. So I have drastically reduced the number of bits that I've broken due to my work holding breaking loose by using screws whenever possible. I used to use things, and I still do when I can't use screws, like double-sided tape, which works great if your board or if your wood is completely flat. It works great if your wasteboard isn't chewed up, but sometimes it does have a tendency to break loose. Clamps are another thing that can break loose. Just because it's a friction, you know, we're just putting pressure down on them and they can slip and slide around. With screws, it's screwed down. It's not going anywhere. Mistake number 2 is forgetting to zero your Z. So you are starting a job, maybe you zero your X and Y, and you forget to zero your Z. It's just something super easy, but is often forgotten. And that is going to change your depth of cut and oftentimes leading to a broken bit. There are a lot of those really small, simple steps when we're setting up a job that if we miss, it usually leads to a ruined project. So that's why I created the perfect project checklist. It's completely free. You can get it in the description below. And it's great to have next to your machine, just to be able to run through the steps that you have to hit. You can check box them every time. They're in order. Did I home my machine? Did I zero my machine? My work holding? And it just takes you all the way down the list. So I found that is a great way to eliminate these simple mistakes that we just overlook and it ends in disappointment or ruined projects. Mistake number 3 is running our bits too slow. Our feed rate, how fast we're traveling laterally around our piece, is going too slow. This is typically measured in IPM, inches per minute. The interesting thing about this is that logically to the new CNCer with not a lot of experience, they're like, well, I'm just gonna go slow so I don't break anything. And that's actually a really bad thing to do for our bits, because the slower that we go, the more heat we generate. Heat is the #1 enemy of bits. When we generate excess heat, our bits dull faster. We have to replace them faster. We get less cutting life out of them. And eventually it'll lead to breaking. So if you've ever done a job and you can't pick your bit up, that's not good. That's not good. Carbide does not like getting hot, and when carbide gets hot, it gets brittle and then it snaps. So how can we fix this? Well, one, we can increase our feed rates. I bet that more than half of you watching this video can run your bits faster than you are. Yes, there are other limitations, machine limitations. Obviously, your machine has to be rigid enough to be able to handle that. But I think you could run them 10, 20, 30% faster than you probably are. Maybe up to 50% faster than you actually are. I did a speed test video last year that we'll link down in the description below, where I was running all these, the most common bits. I did a bit test of the top 10 bits on the market, and I was running them at up to 1,000 inches per minute. Another one passes the gauntlet. I'm seriously impressed. I'm seriously impressed. This, I think, just reinforces that most bits are broken when something goes wrong, not when you're making a linear pass. The fear of running our bits too fast is not because they're gonna break, is false. We can run our bits faster and it's actually better for them. So, okay, so how do we go about this? How do we know if we're running our bits fast enough, if we're getting the most out of our bits, and if we're generating too much heat? There's some things that we can look for. And one is, are we generating chips or dust? So this right here, I got a couple examples. I just got done with a project, and this is a fine dust. I'll bring you in closer here. So this is a really fine dust, fine chips. And the finer the dust that we're creating, the less of a bite the router bit is taking. So we want it to look more like the chips back here, but where they actually look like little tiny wood chips. So these wood chips act as a heat sink. And so the wood chip, actually, when we get that wood chip out with dust collection, it moves heat away from that cut. It keeps the bit cooler. To whereas this fine dust likes to pack in, and it doesn't work as a good heat sink. Doesn't carry a lot of heat, and it usually packs into the cut and generates more heat. And so that's, if you're ever cutting a really deep profile toolpath and you're using a downcut bit, and maybe your dust collection isn't, you have to have really good dust collection to pull that out, because all those chips are going downwards, and you can pack them into the cut, and then you're recutting them, and you're basically destroying the cutting edge, and it'll eventually lead to breakage on your CNC router bit. So a good way to prevent this from happening is to make chips and not dust. Keep that in mind and you'll be in good shape. How do we do that? Well, one, again, we need to increase our feed rate and keep our RPMs the same. Or we need to decrease our RPMs and keep our feed rates the same. So it's the relationship between how fast the bit is traveling linearly and spinning rotationally. Another good rule to follow is the larger the diameter bit, the slower your RPMs should be. And the smaller your diameter bit, the faster your RPMs need to be. So by following these 3 best practices, you will save yourself money in bits. And you'll also understand why things are breaking and what makes them last longer, all to get the most out of your CNC router bits. Don't forget to grab my perfect project playlist down in the description below, and I will see you in the next video.